And this hearing should resume shortly, and we will be going as wall to wall. I think we owe it to you just to hear this, because it's a big deal. The only recent development I want to weigh this with my panelists right now is something similar with maybe the former Wells Fargo CEO when he was brought up there. For remember, they were selling you accounts, in other words, that you didn't want. Now, those people were actually paying for something they didn't ask for. No one lost money on this deal. They lost their privacy in terms of that being sold and meted out to a political organization. But without getting into the weeds, that's the last time a single CEO was brought before, not entire industry, but a single CEO before a committee here. But it does tell you a little bit about the appetite to go after someone on this privacy issue. But where this is going besides that is anyone's guess. I've got Charlie Gasparino with us now, Christina Partsinevelos, and Connell McShane. Christina, you've been hearing this as well in the back and forth. Where does this ultimately go, and what will be the treatment that Facebook is going to get out of a Congress that seems loath to get too deep in this, but at least let it be known they're not happy?
Right. They aren't happy. We've been watching this going back and forth, but I think a lot of the discussion is around how much does Facebook scrutinize our data? And that's where people like to complain yesterday as lawmakers didn't know about Facebook. Right. They are still stuck on AOL. But really, what Zuckerberg has done today is mentioned several times, we don't sell our data. But I would like to explain there are caveats to that. They monetize the data. They make money off of that data. They profit. They don't sell it to advertisers. Advertisers say you want people who play sports, so they will provide that data. But they keep it so they can continuously use it again and again and again. And that's the value. It does help their bottom line. Third-party apps, though, like Cambridge Analytica, where we know today the CEO has stepped down, they have taken that data and sold it off. And it's not just Cambridge Analytica. There are other companies that have done this as well. So that's where Facebook has to come in now and say that
they violated to terms of service.
By Cambridge.
Yeah,
Yes, of course.
Let's be real clear here. Twitter does not, Facebook does not sell any of its data. It does something which I think is pretty interesting. It basically tells an advertiser, we can assemble people that might like your products. And by the way, I get a lot of weightlifting and
don't even get into what else you get.
But let me make the point. Twitter does sell the stuff. And here's the interesting thing. I think something like 50, I talked to a couple of analysts yesterday, 15% of their profits come from the direct sale of information from the users. Now, here's the interesting thing. About a month ago, when this first broke, I spoke with a bunch of people on Capitol Hill, GOP types, and I said, by the way, this is your time to get at these lousy liberals in Silicon Valley, the other part of the deep state. And they were like, no, Republicans, we're not going there. We believe this is private enterprise. We don't want, as much as we loathe them politically, we don't want to open the Pandora's box to regulation. Plus, it's voluntary. It's not like the deep state of the CIA. So I will tell you this. I think there'll be some rules and stuff like that with Republicans in Congress. There will not be real harsh regulations unless the Democrats take control of Congress.
And if there was, what would it be? I keep trying to figure that out. Is there, if the question's going back and forth, is like, what would be? Model. In what way, though? Like, why? How would they do it? Because I'm trying to follow along what their goal is.
Well,
here.
if they have a
goal,
if it's on your Twitter screen that nothing will be shared out of your account, right. If you hit this button, then a lot of people will do that, and then Twitter stops. Then its ability to monetize. I'm not saying they sell it. They monetize it is a better word. Will be vastly hindered, and the stock price will go down.
You could already kind of do that. It's just a matter of changing defaults.
But you just said that they're going to change their business model. He was asked that by a congresswoman.
No, I didn't say they were going to do that.
But he just didn't answer that question. She asked him, will you change your business model in order to protect customers? And he said, I don't understand what you mean.
My point is, if the Democrats get Congress,
then you can, yes, I understand that.
Then you can see regulation that will force him to change the business model.
Well, they'd be gouging one of their biggest allies up to now. The point I raised at the outset was that, say what you will of Facebook and Zuckerberg and his practices, he has been a very good friend to those Democrats.
Corporatist Democrats.
I don't care. My only point in saying it is that I'm wondering if the tide turns here, and he just says, I've befriended people who are now out to regulate the hell out of me.
Well, here's the thing.
And now I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I do think it's an interesting juxtaposition for him to be in now, where he's probably scratching his chin and saying, you know what, this is weird. I put a lot on the line for these people, and I'll say whatever you have in this political organization case that benefited the Trump folks. he has a long and pretty consistent record of being left.
Well, you have to look at who's...
No, all I'm saying is, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think then the Democrats take over, that they would really risk, alienating a guy and a company? I'm not saying that it's been in their hip pocket, but been very friendly.
Very friendly. But, here's the thing about the Democratic Party. The media focuses so much on all the striations, the delineations of the Republican Party, from the populist, right-wing, Breitbart types to mainstream Republicans. There's that battle going on in the Democratic Party. The Elizabeth Warren types, the lefties, they don't like this guy.
Right.
Okay.
And they don't differentiate. That's actually a very good point. They don't differentiate between this guy and the Wells Fargo CEO.
Right. Yes. But do you think that the campaign contributions might decrease? Because right now you have the Commerce Committee and the Energy Committee that are getting massive contributions from Facebook employees.
Goldman Sachs.
A little bit in Silicon Valley, but most of Silicon Valley's association with the Democratic Party, to me, is based on social issues rather than business issues. I mean, you have a lot of social liberals who live in that part of the world or work in that industry. And I think they're...
And he acknowledged that. He got even in testimony yesterday. He said, I'm well aware of the perception of Silicon Valley. I'm just wanting to change. This is me just making this leap, guys.
It's not.
But I just find it interesting.
You have
there a couple of times he was surprised by the nastiness.
Right.
And I think really that. There was a little bit of hostility, but it was a pretty collaborative environment today. It was a little.
No doubt. Sure. But I just definitely heard there was much when I started citing it and breaking it down by Democrat and Republican. Again, not to play politics with it, but that it was overwhelmingly, disproportionately Democrats favoring sweeping regulation.
Right. Well, here's the thing. You have precedent for saying that, and the precedent is in Goldman Sachs. The second biggest contributor to Barack Obama in 2008 was Goldman Sachs. Gary Cohn was leading the charge, raising money on Wall Street to basically make Barack Obama president. What did Obama do? He turned around and went ballistic on Wall Street, pushed Dodd-Frank, squeezed Goldman Sachs' business model. And guess what happened with Gary Cohn and Lloyd Blankfein, who was the CEO? They turned around and they started raising money for Republicans. And guess where Gary Cohn ended up ultimately? Working for Donald Trump. So there is precedent for that. The mainstream media, I hate that word mainstream because I don't think I'm unmainstream, but the media focuses.
That's an understatement.
Yes.
Depends on the issue.
You're not even on this planet.
Yes. But at least I know that there are divisions in the Democratic Party that could rupture.
No doubt.
If they take power, and it could hurt their donor base.